I'm super stoked to bring you expert level analytics with Morningfame's algorithm tab today. And I'm super delighted that I oftentimes have the chance to speak to other experts, like owners of very, very large channels or owners of marketing agencies who have clients of those channels. And all of them think the same way. It's their second nature because they want to know what is really going on channels and know how to repeat successes, even improve on those successes. And because this thinking is truly advanced, I did a 4-part series in which I step by step explain you in simple terms this kind of thinking. Actually, it is possible to only do it in 4 parts because I did the job of learning all the expert level thinking and then put it into Morningfame so that you don't have to spend years of learning everything yourself and then knowing where to look at. Now you have it straight in Morningfame's algorithm tab where you can just with a few clicks, which otherwise would take even more work, with few clicks get the insights that you need. So what do the experts look at? Well, in simple terms, it's traffic sources. Where are the views coming from? But it's only traffic sources on the surface because the experts understand that each traffic source, YouTube search, for example, or the suggested videos, all those traffic sources are driven by different algorithms on YouTube, and all the different algorithms have different jobs. They do different tasks, and if you understand how they behave differently, then you can also understand how to get more views out of each algorithm for your channel. All right, let's dive in. So here in Morningfame, you have this algorithm tab here, right? So when you scroll down, then you see sections for different algorithms, YouTube search, home, and so on. YouTube search, by the way, is the algorithm that drives the search results, lets your videos rank high, and we use YouTube SEO, well, Morningfame's keyword research tool, in order to trigger that algorithm, get more views from the algorithm. And of course, YouTube search is for small channels particularly well suited because if you don't have really an audience yet on your channel, well then this is a very dependable views to get your first audiences to your channel. So that's the first algorithm to pay attention to as a small channel. And then when we scroll further, we see home next. And in my case, it's the top 2 traffic source for my channel. And actually home is the algorithm, well, the home page, the algorithm provides the videos shown on the home page. That is the algorithm that kicks in as the second algorithm once your channel grows further. Basically, active subscribers are the ones who start bootstrapping that the home algorithm works in your favor. By the way, active subscribers, if you scroll up here in the velocity tab, you see a count of active subscribers here. That's what I'm talking about. That is what's driving the home algorithm basically. But to learn more, by the way, when we go back to the algorithm tab, for each algorithm section, I have links here, including home, of course, where you can learn more about that particular algorithm. These links always have my best tutorials on those algorithms in detail. But let's move forward. Next, we see here the suggested videos for my channel, and that is actually the holy grail to growing on YouTube, some might say. But it's really not an easy algorithm to get promotion out of. It's actually the third algorithm that kicks in after search and home already kicked in. Well, it takes longer until that works. But by the way to make it work, to get views via the suggested videos algorithm, is to first, and let's scroll down here, you see also a section about linked content. That is all the views you get via cards, via the end screens, via playlists, everything that you can do in order to link up your videos so that viewers can binge watch your content. And that is the strategy to bootstrap the views across your videos, and then the suggested videos algorithm mirrors that behavior and starts recommending your videos next to the other videos as well. So linked content is not really an algorithm, but I include it here because it's the precursor. Getting views via linked content is the precursor of getting into the suggested videos. And then further down, of course, we have Google search. And we know with Morningfame's keyword tool, with YouTube SEO in general, it almost happens automatically that you also rank in Google search with your optimized videos for YouTube. To learn more about how Morningfame supports it, again, here a link about the Google search algorithm. So feel free to dive in deeper here. But I want to give you the big picture. We are, by the way, only scratching the surface at this point. Really, we will go so much deeper. But just to give you a complete picture about all the algorithms, of course, when we scroll down, we have the notifications. And by the way, since I have less notification than, for example, views from search at the top here, all these graphs are, by the way, synchronized. They have the same y-axis, so that you can really compare how many views you get from each source. Well, if you want to have a closer look here, you can click the Set as Max button and then it gets blown up so you can see the graphs more properly. So notifications, of course, people get those. Then we have the subscription feed, which of course subscribers, as you can see, 100% subscribers views here. Well, the subscriptions feed is not so important. Most of your subscribers arrive via the home algorithm. Remember the second algorithm that kicks in the further you grow your channel, after YouTube search, of course. And then, of course, we have the shorts algorithms. I experimented with it a little bit a while back. And the trending algorithm, where I didn't appear yet. That's, of course, only something for very large channels. And again, the natural progression is really for a small channel becoming a large channel. We do SEO to rank in search, and then we grow our active subscribers to get into home, and then we do our linked content, well, end screens, cards and playlists to make people binge watch, and then finally the suggested videos algorithm comes into play. So we can monitor this here, but again, our goal here is, like the experts, to understand what is going on our channels and become able to repeat those successes we already had in the past to make our channel more successful. And of course, for that reason, we can drill really deep into the data. And there is one thing here, when we look, we have a top videos details pane, top videos, and so on and so on. Every algorithm has a top videos list. So let's have a look at it, for example, for the search algorithm. So here we see the top videos that drive the most views here. And of course, in terms of search, that is the evergreen content, right? As you can see here, I published this video 3 years ago, and it's my strongest view driver to this date for getting views via ranking in search. And of course, the reason why I'm presenting you these top lists for each algorithm separately is to truly understand which videos perform the best for particular algorithms. So when we look at the search algorithm list here, for example, we try to detect patterns, obviously. So which video topics, for example, work the best for YouTube search, and you can understand people are asking about the click-through rate, which percentage is good, right? That's a commonly asked question in my niche, at least. So it's natural that this is performing well in search. Everyone asks about tags, if they can change titles, the traffic sources in general, and so on. You know, the FAQs that we have in the YouTube advice niche in general. So this is not a surprise, but what we learned intuitively about our channel, now we can much clearly see that. And the goal here is to see those patterns, like I just said to you. The reason that I say frequently asked questions in my niche is the reason because I already detected that patterns in the video. That these videos that are the top performing ones here for YouTube search are indeed frequently asked questions. How is it about for you, by the way, in your niche? Is it also frequently asked questions, or is it a different spin on things? You know, every niche is different, and therefore you look at the top videos that performed well in a particular algorithm, and this way understand what you need to produce next. Again, so that you get the same amount of views, maybe even more views, because you always hit the nail on the head, because you understand which kind of video topics work really well in the past. So you focus down, double down on these kinds of video topics that really bring you the views via those algorithms. And of course, I said in the beginning, not every algorithm is the same. They all have different jobs, right? So you have to understand step by step. It's taking time, of course, to wrap your head around that, but you will understand over time how these different algorithms behave for your content differently. And to help you with this, we have a comparison feature in there as well. So then here for YouTube search, we have the top list, but now let's compare it, for example, to the suggested videos here. So we take both top lists and compare YouTube search with these suggested videos. So we have this middle row here, which are videos that perform really well for both algorithms, and then some videos perform better for search and some better for suggested videos. And I already looked through it, of course, and I can see, like again, here on the left side for YouTube search, we have these frequently asked questions. How do tags work? How do hashtags work? Dislikes bad, right? Like these basic questions. But when we look in the suggested videos algorithm part here, we see a tutorial about detailed SEO, like more advanced SEO after you learned the basics. The same for advanced method of writing your video titles and so on. So I can clearly see here the very basic questions are good for YouTube search. I rank my videos in YouTube search in order to drive additional audiences, new viewers to my channels with those basic questions. But once they are on my channel and understand the basics, then they can indulge in my more advanced tutorials, also about YouTube SEO, for example, but they are more the follow-up questions that you have once you learned the basics. So this is the kind of thinking that you can start to make happen when you look at these different algorithms in comparison. Of course, don't make it too complicated for you if you are starting to learn these subtle differences between these algorithms. Of course, the goal is always to make videos that work well for most algorithms at the same time. In the end, in the core, it's all about having videos that are really great for viewers. Yeah, these tips that we learn on all the YouTube advice channels about high watch time, high click-through rate with great thumbnails and all that, this is a win for all the algorithms across the board. So these things need to be applied all the time, and this you can first focus on. So when you look at this comparison pop up here, again, the middle row is the one where you can be a little bit more safe, make video topics that work across the board well. But once you get more into the advanced thinking, then yeah, you know, the experts really do it this way. They optimize sometimes videos more for search, sometimes more for suggested videos, depending on what topic they cover in the video, so they can really fine-tune what they are aiming for. With the algorithm tab here with Morningfame, we really scratch just the surface. I just explained you a generic strategy that is working across the board, that is broad thinking. Now we are getting into the fun part, going into the details, which really give us insights that are not easy to get and that are really making the differences. And that's the reason why the experts look so much at the same perspective that the algorithm tab gives you as an easy perspective now as well. All right, so I showed you the top video lists that you have for all the algorithms this year, but some algorithms have other details. Top search terms here in this example, for the YouTube search algorithm, you can drill much deeper into understanding what is really driving the views via search for your videos. And here you see not only the top videos, but the search terms in particular that drove the views to your videos. And as you can see here, my top video click-through rate is also driving the views from my top search terms. And I can check how much optimized is my video for the particular search term. So my click-through rate video is of course very much optimized for this search term, 96%. The term is included everywhere in the title, in the description and the tag. And by the way, this measurement here is exactly the same that you see in Morningfame's keyword research tool in the number 4 optimized tab, where you compile your title, description and tags. So that is the same grading that you now have here again, not for your target search term like it is in the number 4 optimized tab, but here for the search term that you get views from. So obviously, this video is very optimized for that. You saw my target search term was originally click-through rate YouTube, and click-through rate is part of it, so perfect. But also other search terms, impressions click-through rate, the term is nowhere included directly as in full, but it's still very relevant. So I can verify that this video is very optimized for these search terms that bring me the views. But only knowing that is only half of the story, right? So we want to make actions here, of course. And when we look at this search term here, for example, this video is already 3 years old, and it would be time to make a new video about click-through rate with everything extra that I learned in the past 3 years, obviously, right? And I didn't talk about impressions so much in this click-through rate video. So when I do my next video about click-through rate, I might consider to optimize for a impressions click-through rate YouTube, and also more directly talk about the impressions part of the whole story here as well. So this is informing my future videos, but also my existing videos. When we scroll down here a little bit further, then we find, for example, my hashtag video here. And this hashtag video was originally optimized for YouTube hashtags for views, but as you can see here, for the top search term it is driving views from, it is not really well optimized. 43% is actually really bad. I mean, I didn't intend to optimize it for this search term, but it happened after all that it is driving a lot of views. And by the way, I can click here the actions, look up in Morningfame, and see then here that this video is actually ranking here in the top spot nonetheless, even though it's really badly optimized. You see it again here, 43% only. But it might be a good idea, if you come across such cases, that you really have the top search term for a video, but it's not well optimized there, and maybe it's ranking very low still, then re-optimize those videos. So this is the kind of thinking that we apply here, right? We are monitoring how we get the views for our videos, and also then have the ability to adjust for existing video, but also decisions for future videos, what we create next, in order to drive more of that good traffic that we already get from particular algorithms. All right, back here into this report, I think you get the idea. This is pretty much straightforward, but YouTube search is not the only one that has additional insights. Here, the suggested videos, for example, has top audience magnets and top recommending channels. And those two detailed reports here, you know, I'm out of words here, really. These detailed reports are probably the most valuable core of the whole algorithm tab. This basically doubles the value. I really have to explain you the details to get into the holy grail of getting views via the suggested videos algorithm. Let me show you. Here you go. And by the way, if the video is not out yet, well then subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss this next episode. Cheers, my friends.